Story 1. As a weary truck driver, I had grown accustomed to long nights on the road. The rhythmic hum of the engine and the solitude of the cabin became my constant companions. But one dark and rainy night, my routine drive took a terrifying turn. The rain beat against the windshield, creating an impenetrable wall of water. Visibility was limited, making my journey even more treacherous. I tightened my grip on the steering wheel, focusing on the white lines guiding me through the storm. Suddenly, out of the corner of my eye, I caught a glimpse of a figure standing on the side of the road. A hitchhiker, their silhouette barely visible through the downpour. A surge of sympathy compelled me to stop, offering a momentary respite from the relentless rain. I pulled over, the sound of the rain pounding against the roof of the truck. The hitchhiker approached, their clothes clinging to their drenched frame. They climbed into the passenger seat, their face obscured by the brim of a hat. We exchanged a few words, their voice filled with weariness. They thanked me for the lift, explaining that they had been stranded for hours. As we drove on, a sense of unease settled upon me. Something about this hitchhiker felt off, but I couldn't quite put my finger on it. The silence between us grew heavy, broken only by the sound of raindrops cascading against the windows. I stole glances at the hitchhiker, their presence casting an inexplicable shadow over the cabin. My instincts screamed at me to be cautious, but I couldn't shake the feeling of obligation. Minutes turned into hours, and the rain showed no signs of relenting. The hitchhiker remained quiet, their gaze fixed on the road ahead. It was then that I noticed something peculiar. Their reflection was absent from the rearview mirror. A chill ran down my spine as realization set in. I stole another glance, only to find the passenger seat empty. Panic seized me, my heart pounding in my chest. I swerved the truck to the side of the road, my mind racing with disbelief. I stepped out into the rain, searching frantically for any sign of the hitchhiker. But there was nothing, no trace of their presence, as if they had vanished into thin air. Fear gnawed at me, its icy grip tightening with every passing moment. Shaking with trepidation, I climbed back into the truck, desperate to put distance between myself and the haunted stretch of road. The rain continued to pour, the rhythmic beat now a haunting melody in the confines of the cabin. As I resumed my journey, a sense of dread lingered. The phantom hitchhiker had left an indelible mark on my psyche, a reminder that the night holds secrets that defy explanation. With wary eyes, I continued my drive, forever haunted by the enigmatic presence that had graced my truck that fateful night. The tale of the phantom hitchhiker serves as a chilling reminder that not all encounters on the road are as they seem. It warns us to trust our instincts and tread carefully, for the darkness of the night can harbor entities that transcend our understanding. Story 2. It was a stormy night, rain pouring relentlessly upon the desolate highway. I gripped the steering wheel tightly as I navigated through the treacherous conditions. The darkness outside seemed to swallow everything in its path, and the only solace I had was the faint glow of my headlights cutting through the rain-soaked windshield. As I continued on my journey, my mind began to play tricks on me. Every shadow seemed to morph into sinister shapes, and the sound of raindrops on the roof echoed like whispers in my ears. But I pressed on, determined to reach my destination. Suddenly, through the haze of rain, I spotted a figure standing at the side of the road, a hitchhiker, drenched and shivering in the night. My instincts told me to keep driving, to ignore the stranger in need, but something compelled me to stop. I rolled down the window, the rain splattering against my face. The hitchhiker approached, his eyes hidden beneath the brim of a soaked hat. His voice was hollow, filled with an eerie calmness as he asked for a ride. Reluctantly, I unlocked the passenger door, allowing the mysterious man to enter. He settled into the seat beside me, his presence sending a shiver down my spine. I could feel his gaze upon me, even in the dimly lit cabin of my car. As we drove on, an uneasy silence hung in the air. I tried to engage in small talk, but the hitchhiker remained silent, his eyes fixed on the road ahead. My heart raced. Something about this man felt off, as if he carried a secret darkness within him. Minutes turned into hours, and the rain continued to pour. The hitchhiker finally broke his silence, his voice a cold whisper in the confines of the car. He spoke of lost souls and eternal torment, his words chilling me to the core. Fear gripped me as we approached a desolate stretch of road, devoid of any signs of civilization. The hitchhiker's demeanor shifted, his face contorting into a sinister smile. Panic consumed me as I realized the danger I had unknowingly invited into my car. I slammed on the brakes, desperately pleading for the hitchhiker to leave, but he refused, his presence becoming more menacing with each passing second. With a surge of adrenaline, I unbuckled my seatbelt and flung open the car door, racing into the night. As I looked back, the hitchhiker stood in the rain, his eyes glowing with malevolence. He extended a hand towards me, his voice echoing through the storm, promising eternal suffering for my defiance. I ran, never looking back, haunted by the encounter that forever changed my perception of the darkness that lurks in the night. The season story of the chilling Night Drive horror series serves as a cautionary tale. It reminds us to be wary of the strangers we encounter on desolate roads, for sometimes the darkness seeks companionship in the most unsuspecting of places. Story 3. As a seasoned bus driver, I had navigated countless routes, ferrying passengers from one destination to another. But none of my previous experiences could have prepared me for the chilling journey that awaited me on one fateful night. It was a stormy evening, rain lashing against the windows of the bus. The sound of thunder reverberated through the air, adding an ominous undertone to the already tense atmosphere. Despite the inclement weather, I knew I had a duty to fulfill, to safely transport my passengers to their desired stops. As I embarked on the familiar route, a sense of unease settled upon me. The rain-soaked streets seemed devoid of life, as if the storm had driven everyone indoors. But my unease had little to do with the weather and more to do with the stories I had heard about this particular route, tales of ghostly encounters and unexplained phenomena. My first few stops went by without incident, but as the night wore on, an eerie silence descended upon the bus. The passengers, huddled in their seats, exchanged nervous glances. Even their whispers seemed to fade into the background, swallowed by the weight of the unknown. As I approached a desolate stretch of road, the atmosphere grew increasingly oppressive. The rain battered against the windows, obscuring my vision. But through the haze, I caught sight of a figure standing at the side of the road, waiting for the bus. Reluctantly, I pulled over, the doors hissing open. The figure stepped on board, their presence sending a shiver down my spine. They wore tattered clothes, their face hidden beneath the hood. Their eyes, however, glowed with an otherworldly intensity. The passengers shifted uncomfortably in their seats, their unease palpable. The mysterious figure chose a seat at the back of the bus, settling in with an air of solemnity. I couldn't shake the feeling that something was amiss, that this passenger was not what they appeared to be. As we continued along the route, strange occurrences unfolded. The bus seemed to veer off course, taking unexpected turns down forgotten streets. The windows fogged up, revealing ghostly handprints pressed against the glass. Whispers filled the air, their origin impossible to discern. I glanced at the rearview mirror, only to find the figure's reflection absent. Panic coursed through my veins as I realized the truth. We had picked up a passenger from the realm of the supernatural. With trembling hands, I gripped the steering wheel, desperately trying to regain control of the bus. But the entity seemed to revel in chaos, its presence growing stronger with each passing moment. The passengers, sensing the danger, huddled together, seeking solace in their shared fear. I made one final attempt to break free from the clutches of the supernatural. Summoning all my courage, I recited ancient incantations, calling upon forces beyond my comprehension. The bus jolted, the entity's grip loosening. In a blinding flash of light, the figure vanished, leaving behind an eerie silence. The bus returned to its normal course, the raining gradually subsiding. The passengers exchanged bewildered glances, their expressions a mixture of relief and disbelief. As the journey neared its end, I couldn't help but wonder about the true nature of the phantom passenger. Had we encountered a lost soul seeking passage to the afterlife, or had we unwittingly crossed paths with a malevolent spirit? The answer remained as mysterious as the night itself, forever etched in the memories of those who dared to embark on the haunted route. The third tale in the series of chilling night drive horror stories serves as a reminder that even the most mundane of professions can lead one into realms where the supernatural and the ordinary collide. It cautions us to be wary of the unknown and to confront our deepest fears in the face of the inexplicable. Thank you for watching Whispering Tales TV. So don't forget to subscribe, hit that notification bell, and join our community of fellow thrill seekers. Get ready for spine-tingling stories that will keep you up at night. Let the Whispering Tales begin.